This video is a highlight of a private lesson I did with one of my students. This student is Big Joe Szatmary, owner of the Lions Den Elite Training Center. He competes in strongman. He's a big, strong guy. And in this video, we're working specifically on the deep half guard. Sweeping from deep half guard, how to recover deep half guard and sweep after being reversed or taken down. And then gaining top position and passing from there. Another thing I have Big Joe working on is taking the back from the front headlock position. He gets to this position a lot in training, and I always want him to be able to get to the back. In this situation, not necessarily deep half guard, but he's doing really well at recovering from being swept and immediately turning in and regaining top position. When working from the deep half guard, one of the things that you always have to worry about is the guillotine from the guy on top. So another thing we worked on in this lesson was guillotine defense. And he does very well at freeing his head and positioning himself to get out. Joe is about 6'2" and 260 pounds, and I am about 6'3" and 220 pounds. So there's about 12 feet and almost 500 pounds of human involved here. So we're going at a pace, maybe 40–50% intensity. Here you can see I catch him in a triangle. He's not trying too hard to get out. I'm not spazzing out to finish. Just working on troubleshooting things that can happen from transitions in the half guard. So here I catch him with the triangle because he was a little bit lazy coming up. And then immediately go into showing him how to deal with the triangle, because it's a very common attack when the person on top, the person on bottom comes up from a sweep using deep half guard. You're often over under and you can easily fall into a triangle. So for a couple minutes we spent him defending triangles, and then we moved on with the lesson. Here we have Joe working on achieving double underhooks from half guard, pushing the knee out to off balance, and then using that to come up. I counter with a back step, but he uses good instincts, controls my waist, and ends up coming up on top. Again, he ends up in a guillotine, and we work on his defense. Now we're going a little bit more freestyle. Joe's working a pass. I end up getting him in a leg lock position. He rolls out. There's a small scramble, a little bit off camera, and he ends up on my back. There's a time and a place for really hard competitive training, but sometimes being too competitive can limit your ability to learn. So it's important to set your ego aside, dedicate some of your training time to this style of lower intensity training based on developing specific skills. Here, Joe goes for a Kimura, forgets to use his legs correctly, which allows me to run around the head, end up passing his guard, and I believe taking his back.